I didn't realize I felt so emotionally about this. Glad I can talk to you guys about it. Gosh. Hey y'all, welcome back to another Katie on the Flip Side. I am here today to do my 1-year postpartum update. And it's actually technically been 13 and a half months. I've been meaning to make this video and just have not gotten around to it yet. But you know, not much has changed in the past month. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on my recovery, how things were in the year after giving birth and having a C-section, and then also talk some about our plans for the future. For those of you who weren't around back when Gaines was born or don't know, I did have a C-section with her because she was breech, and that was something we knew several weeks in advance that would most likely happen. So I'd kind of prepared myself for that. Obviously, I don't think there are some people, but not a whole lot of people go in thinking, yes, I want to have a C-section. So it's something that I didn't really go into the pregnancy with a desire to do, but I heard different things from different people. Some people were like, oh, it's really not that bad. Some people were like, oh my gosh, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks after the C-section. From my experience, my recovery was really not terrible. I mean, obviously I've just had major surgery. You're taking care of a baby, all these types of things. I was able to get up and walk around as soon as the spinal block wore off and I had feeling in my legs again. I was walking around within several hours. I was able to go up and down stairs. I didn't have any trouble with anything like that. It was, you know, my scar was sore, and I talk a little bit about this in my, I think I did like a 1 week or 1 month postpartum update. We'll link that below. Maybe even a little card right here. But I did talk a little bit about the immediate results. But as far as long term, after the soreness went away and things got to feeling a little bit back to normal, I will say for the longest time I was like, I'm never gonna be able to wear pants without it hurting my stomach again. It's hard to remember in retrospect, but probably at least like a month, maybe even 2 months where like it just hurt to wear pants, like jeans that weren't stretchy at all. But now it's totally fine. I do have numbness, so I can't really feel anything where, not just where the scar is, but like above the scar, almost halfway to my belly button. It's kind of strange. Nobody warned me about that. So if you're gonna have a C-section, be warned about that. You may not be able to feel your stomach ever again, but it's really not that big of a deal. But for the rest of the physical recovery, I mean, as of a year later, I don't have the feeling in my stomach right there, but I don't have any soreness or anything like that. I do obviously still have a C-section scar, and I know many people have said that after a year, it's almost like the scar isn't even there. My doctor even said, oh, after a year, you won't even know the scar is there. Well, you can tell that my scar is there. My body actually has a tendency to develop what's called keloid scar tissue. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's kind of like where instead of a scar just being flat, it's kind of raised. And sometimes it can be red and itchy. I actually had a place on my chest where I had a little skin tag removed one time, and I had to go in, and you can get, I think, some type of injection that just makes it go down because it was red and it would itch a lot. And that's actually what my C-section scar has done. And I need to make an appointment with a dermatologist to get that fixed, but I have not done that. I will say that when I had the C-section, I thought, like, who cares? The baby comes out, the baby's healthy, what's it matter which way I did it? The one thing that I didn't really think about is I'm a lot more self-conscious about my scar than I thought I would be, probably because it does look a little weird. I mean, it's not like it's just a flat scar that's disappearing. I've used the description before that it's almost like when you wear underwear that's too tight, you know, it leaves a little line. Other physical things, we're cutting out nursing right now, but Gaines does still nurse just for a little bit in the morning and then at night before she goes to bed. So it's not really very long. It's just kind of part of the routine. And I honestly think that she would do fine without it. When my mom put her to sleep, when my mom kept her this past weekend, she went to sleep just fine and didn't know the difference. So she probably could do without it. It's just one of those things that I just haven't cut out yet. So that's the physical side of things. As far as emotionally, I did not deal really with any postpartum depression or baby blues. I know that's very common. A lot of people deal with that. So I'm very thankful to have avoided it this time. I have heard that people who have been through losses before they've had their baby tend to be less likely to experience postpartum depression. And I don't know if it's just because you've been so depressed and upset about things beforehand that when you finally have this, it's happy. But of course, there's the emotional side of dealing with things. If you guys watched our vlogs after Gaines was born, there was a lot of crying and hormones and emotions and all that stuff. But that just kind of comes with the territory. So with the emotional and kind of mental part, I've heard people forever talk about, oh, I have mom brain, I forgot this and I forgot that. And I was like, dang, I'm already kind of a scatterbrained person. I forget everything. What is it gonna be like when I have a baby? And I will say that it is a legit thing. And here's my theory on this. When Gaines was first born, and you know, for the however long I've been breastfeeding her, in the back of my mind, when she was exclusively breastfed, there was no other foods or anything, I always had in the back of my mind exactly the last time she'd eaten, how long she'd eaten for, when was the last time she had pooped, when was the last time she fell asleep, what time did she fall asleep, what time did she wake up, how many naps has she taken today, when was the last time I changed her diaper. And I could, at any moment in time, tell you just about the exact time that those things happen. Okay, I fed her at 2:53 p.m. and you know, she ate for like 20 minutes and then she went to sleep for 45 minutes and then I changed her diaper after that and it was only poop. So there's just all this information that is in your brain, and it's a lot more information than you've ever had before. And for me, it was like, this is my sole responsibility to keep this child alive, keep her fed, make sure she's happy, and know what's gonna be wrong if she does cry. When was the last time I fed her? You know, when was she changed? I feel like that really takes over your brain and is just kind of saturating all of the extra memory that you have in there. So I will say that it has been functioning and, you know, doing things, remembering things has been a lot more difficult since having a child. And it did get a little bit better once she started eating solid foods, once she started, you know, she was still nursing, but it was like if she happened to get starving when we're in the middle of the store, I could give her a snack. It wasn't like I had to go nurse her right there. I've had other friends tell me different times along the first year when you really start feeling like yourself again. You're part of the world again. The world is functioning. And for me, I would say that didn't really happen to me until about maybe 7 months or so. I definitely feel more functioning in the world, but I do feel like there's always going to be the concern and the love and care for your child that's gonna make you worry about those things. Maybe some people more than others, but I love every minute of it. And this is exactly what I wanted. I've always wanted to be a mother, always wanted to have a child to take care of, and it's so rewarding and so special to be able to have the bond with your child, to be able to have the privilege to worry about those things. Going through all that we went through before, I didn't know if I would ever get a chance to be concerned about those things. So every day I do count it as a privilege and a blessing to get to go through each of these different steps and phases with her. I'm still a scatterbrained person, probably always gonna be. I'm even more easily distracted now when I'm with her because I'm constantly worrying what she's gonna get into now that she's mobile. What's she gonna get into? Is she about to fall? Is she about to hit her head? Ah! I think the parent worry, concern, and kind of just obsessive nature of thinking about your child doesn't go away, and it changes with every different stage that they're in. I know, just wait till they're teenagers and then you really start to worry. As far as the burning question that everybody wants to know, is Macy Gaines gonna get a sibling? When is she gonna get a sibling? Oh my gosh, you've gotta have another baby right now. One of us is like, yes, we have to have a baby right now. And the other of us is like, I don't know about that. So, if you can't guess who is who, it's kind of the opposite of what you would expect, I guess. Colin's been ready for like 6 months to have another baby, and I was kind of on board with that too. So, to be upfront and honest with you guys, since maybe like May or June, we decided if I were to get pregnant, that would be great and wonderful and it would be fine. And if I didn't, then it would be fine. I think the number one thing about trying for another baby is that I don't want it to be the stressful and emotional process that it was before, because jeez, didn't mean to get emotional in this video, because that was a very emotional roller coaster. Whew. Sorry. I didn't realize I felt so emotionally about this. Glad I can talk to you guys about it. And not just, obviously the losses were emotional, but not just that, but even when I was pregnant after having losses, I didn't plan to like cry in this video at all. What is going on? I promise I'm not pregnant right now. I promise. But there was a lot of anxiety. And if you guys were here, why is this so hard for me? See, this is why I don't need to have another baby right now. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't be upset if I did. There was a lot of anxiety, and constant worry about whether things were gonna be okay and whether we were gonna have to go through another loss. Gosh, and I think I'm just really worried about that happening again. Not just about having another loss, because there's definitely worry about that, but about just going through all the emotions that go with being pregnant, for me at least. Constantly worrying if the baby's okay. Am I doing something wrong? Is there, like, once you get to that point, do I feel the baby moving? I've only felt the baby moving this much. It really consumes all of your mind. At least for me it did, especially when you've had previous losses. It makes you really worry about a lot of things. So as much as it scares me to go through those things, what also scares me almost even more is that if and when I am pregnant again, I'll be so consumed with those things that it will take away from my time with Gaines and how much attention I can devote to her. Obviously, I'm not gonna let it like make me just go sit in the corner and not pay attention to her, but I just worry that I will miss out on things in her life that especially right now during the holidays, we've kind of said over the past couple months, I was like, let's just be extra careful, because I really want to just enjoy the, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, all this stuff with her without having in the back of my mind, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. What if something's going wrong? Is this, oh my gosh, I have this cramp right here. What does this mean? So I definitely do want to have another baby, and because of what we've been through in the past, I don't want to wait forever. I don't want to wait a whole year and then us go through what we went through before, and it takes a whole another 2 years to actually get another baby here. I'm 32, Cullen just turned 33, and so, we want to have maybe more than 2 kids, and so I don't want to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of biological clock time. There are definitely some real fears there for me going forward with having another baby. Like I said, I don't want it to be stressful. That's kind of where I started, and then I went down a whole nother road. But unfortunately, I'm not 100% the one that gets to be in charge of that. Obviously, I can control my emotions and I can let things stress me out or not. But one thing I can do to help control it is I don't want to talk about it a whole lot, so we most likely won't say, hey, guess what, we're trying again, because honestly right now, I could get pregnant right now. I'm not on birth control again or anything. We're just having to kind of be safe in our own ways, and 1 month we can decide like, okay, let's be extra careful, and 1 month we can be like, oh well, whatever, it doesn't matter, I don't care right now. It could honestly happen anytime, but I don't want to talk about it so much that I feel pressured and like every month everybody's gonna want to know and everybody's gonna know exactly what's happening and how it's going, because that adds extra pressure to me. Most likely, and I say this, and if we do start having trouble, if there's something that's going on, we'll most likely tell you guys about that. It could also just be that one day all of a sudden there's a pregnancy announcement video and you guys had no idea it was coming. I guess the main thing is I do want Gaines to have another sibling. I think it would be super fun if they were close together in age so they could be friends. I've heard people say it's easier when you're already in baby mode to have another baby, but there's that anxiety part, and I think whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next year, whether it's in 2 years, that anxiety is gonna be there at any stage in her life. It's gonna not take away, but it's gonna remove some of my thoughts that I can give to her to another baby. And that's what happens when you have 2 kids. You have to split your time, you have to split your love. But from what I've heard, you don't actually divide it, it just multiplies. And that's something that stresses me out too. Will I be able to multiply my love? Will I be able to give another child the same amount of attention, the same amount of love? Oh, there's so many things. But something that I do know to be true is, just like when we found out we were pregnant with Gaines, just like when Gaines was born, the whole process, it is all part of God's ultimate plan, and the way it worked out with Gaines is something we could have never planned ourselves. It worked out even better than we could have ever expected, and it just goes to show that His plans are always better than ours. So I just have to trust that with baby number 2 and hope and pray that everything will go smoothly and we won't have to go through the same heartbreak again. Okay, I feel like I've rambled a lot in this video. I'm so sorry. It went off on a tangent that I didn't really even intend to go on, but I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment below letting me know what your feelings and emotions were 1 year after having your babies and how your recovery went. Or leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on when you got pregnant with your second baby, or how you handled any anxiety or fears about moving forward with another pregnancy. Thanks always for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you would love to, we would really appreciate if you keep us in your prayers as we kind of contemplate how we're gonna approach this process of baby number 2 one day in the future. Thank you guys always for so much love and support, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye. Is this Skin Vigorate brush that my sister gave me from Mary Kay. Oh, so it's got 2 different speeds and it is amazing on